therapy student, soon to be doctor, coming Friday.
Woohoo! Congrats.
Thank you so much. So, a little background about me. The reason I have interest in this topic is because I've always been interested in cultural competence and reaching diverse backgrounds. I am a sociology undergrad and social justice minor. And I found that cultural competence in healthcare was the way that I could merge my two passions for social justice and occupational therapy. So that's how this project kind of came about. And for those of you who don't know, the project itself the intention was to investigate how to increase access for students with disabilities and caregivers of diverse backgrounds in the transition for life after high school. So to do this, I started with a literature review to determine what the current needs and practices were. And then I spoke with the cultural brokers at the partnership, and they mentioned a couple needs for resources, such as resources related to IEP meetings, to goal writing, and to identifying what the role of the transition coordinator was, as many people don't even know that is a role that exists. And then we gauged together what the best way of getting this information out would be. And so I developed 3 training modules, one for parents and caregivers, one for students, and one on resources. And those are in the form of PowerPoints with voiceover recordings. And I believe you guys are going to be working on translating into Spanish, Arabic, and potentially other languages too. And then I guess those are the most important objectives for you guys' purposes. But the last objective, I'll just touch on it really quickly, was evaluating assessment tools for cultural sensitivity, transition assessment tools. And sadly, I found that they were not created with cultural awareness in mind after talking to the test creators and analyzing the test items themselves. So I created a guideline that you guys can also use to give to parents and professionals for questions to ask that are kind of left out of the process, left out of assessments, and left out of the process for parents and students of diverse backgrounds. So I can show you guys how to locate those. I'm going to share my screen here.
Well, go do this. I will see you the link after the video.
So just so you guys know, while Domi is doing this, I'll go ahead and send you the link after the video. After the meeting.
So here's a Google Drive folder with all of the documents. The first is a workbook that kind of came about after creating the PowerPoint for students. Just briefly show you.
I really like that. I like the that cover.
Thank you. It's from Canva.
Oh, I love Canva. I love Canva.
So the main parts of this are learning about IEP, the IEP team and what your rights are, practicing writing transition goals, learning about self-determination and self-advocacy, investigating strengths and interests, and learning about resources. So it's just kind of a guideline with a couple of workbook type examples.
No, I'm the book, and I want to work book.
So you're gonna use the work.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
I'm determined.
So Domi, you use the I'm Determined workbook,
Yeah.
and
I want to work book.
and I Want to Work workbook.
Yes, and then there is one other one here that was from, it's called Self-Advocacy My Life Workbook.
Yeah. So basically, you just put the resources together and increase the access and use of the tools.
So essentially you pulled resources together to increase the access and use of these tools.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that guideline I talked about, that's the next guideline for addressing diversity in IEP meetings, learning how to ask questions that most assessments miss. And the questions are things like this.
Can you read out some production will not be accessed?
So can you read out some? So can you read out some of those for those who may not be able to access the visual? The visual.
For sure. So the first question is, does your family value independence or interdependence? And how does that impact your thoughts about transition planning? Who makes decisions for and about the student? Does one person have the final say, or do you make decisions together? Will your student be moving out of the house or staying at home? Will your student be going to work, college, volunteering, etc.? Can your student access transportation and other resources to meet their goals? Do you feel comfortable expressing your needs to the transition team? If not, what would make you more comfortable? And then we give a definition of culture as the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group, and ask if you can share some of the cultural factors that are unique to your student and family. What categories in the transition process are important to you and how so, such as communication, daily living skills, decision-making, self-determination, independence, college, and employment. Do you feel the power dynamic between your school and the family is fair? And please explain. Do you understand the words and phrases used in the documents presented during your transition planning? And are you provided translations in your native language? So then these three here are the videos and the scripts for each video, so it can be easy to translate. And then I'll just briefly go through what the PowerPoints themselves look like.
For transition purposes, is this specifically for college?
It's for post-high school.
I meant post-high school. Sorry, I meant that age, the transition.
Yes, yes. So this one is for parents and caregivers. And the things highlighted are I'm Determined, DARS, VDOE, ACIT program, and LIFE program at GMU. So I just go over several facts about these resources and how they can help with transition planning, such as the PREETs and VR programs, applying to DARS, the ACIT in College program, and the George Mason Life program. So this is the resources PowerPoint. And then this one is the training for parents and caregivers. So this includes an explanation of transition planning, IEP meetings, goal writing, the role of the transition coordinator, the importance of parent involvement, and the importance of designing transition plans to meet diverse needs. So just an overview of transition, IEP, goal writing, role of the transition coordinator, importance of parent involvement, and designing transition to meet diverse needs. And then lastly, we have the training for students. And this one goes over rights and responsibilities at an IEP meeting, goal writing, self-determination, self-advocacy, and identifying strengths and interests. What goals are about post-high school, what they look like, how they're created. why self-determination and self-advocacy are important in this process, and how identifying strengths and interests play a role in your transition process. So those are the main resources that you guys have to work with. Any questions?
Those are wonderful resources. I guess we're going to talk about this, Angela, at some point in CFI, but how do we get this out to everyone, I guess?
Yeah.
The schools.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about that. If there's not any question on the training.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about if there's not any questions on the trainings.
Well, if you do, how could that pop up? This is just a casual conversation.
Yeah, or if you have questions that pop up, this is just a casual conversation.
But how can we use it? Like Rebecca said.
But how can we use it, like Rebecca said?
Yeah, like I see the PDFs, but I see the actual trainings for parents, training for students. Are you going to offer trainings, or is that just something that you share, that you're going to share just the video to parents, or how does that work?
So the videos are basically a presentation of the PowerPoints, and those are going to be shared with parents and students, according to Dana, from what she has said.
Okay.
So,
And is that ones that are participating in a certain program, like ACID?
I think it's just in general, because it applies to, you know, all students and parents of diverse backgrounds.
With disabilities?
Yes, with disabilities.
I'm guessing we can put it on the CFI website.
So I'm guessing we could put it on the CFI website.
Maybe direct people to the website.
Maybe direct people to the website.
Yeah. And that'll be it. Like you said, she recorded the script so they can hear it about correct.
And like Domi, I believe she said that she recorded the scripts so they can hear it. Am I correct?
Yes, I recorded videos over the PowerPoint presentations, and then I also created scripts for each of the videos so that they can be translated.
Yeah. Yeah. So people can watch it and only the yeah.
So people can watch it at their own leisure.
That is awesome, Dami, to have that audio component.
Yeah,
You
thank
know?
you. I'm glad we were able to get that all done.
Yeah. I think that these are going to be really, really useful tools for families. I think that it would be good to try to get these out to the parent resource centers, you know, the school districts that have them. Not every school district has the parent resource centers. And then, of course, the transition coordinators. But one of the things that I found sometimes if we are trying to get information to the school districts, transition coordinators, it doesn't always trickle down to the families that need this information.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that they're there can help us and help our family navigators be able to share that with the families as well. I think I'm really excited.
Glad to hear that.
I think this is something that will really benefit if it's utilized.
Yeah.
But the thing is I guess my concern, I guess what I'm thinking is like the families who really need them, like you have some families who parents who are really savvy with social media, going online. You know, it would be really good to be able to reach those families who, you know, may not be as connected as some of the other families.
Right.
Whatever, if you can think about ways to get out there on the internet, that's one of the reasons she wanted to have this discussion.
So if you can just think of ways to get it out there, I know that was one of the reasons Dana wanted us to have this discussion.
Well, we could make a flyer with the QR code, but then you still technology.
Maybe we can make a flyer with a QR code, but then you're kind of still relying on technology.
So, this, I don't know what the different ways.
I don't know what the different ways are.
I think that's good, Angela, too, because then you think about it too. We could get this information too to the, like the CSBs, the case managers,
Yeah, and
doctors' offices, I guess.
yeah, and the individual teachers.
And the individual teachers,
If we have a relationship with them.
if we have a relationship with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was also thinking I'd have to just check in with the IFSP Council, but I was thinking that our focus area for this year is transition in Central Virginia. And it would be great to have you come and share like a 15-minute commercial, just like you did with us today, or longer, whatever, you know, what works for you, just to share the information directly with the families. I agree with Moretta. We share things with PRCs all the time and in different organizations, but sometimes you wonder if it does trickle down. But yeah, we have lots of opportunities, I think, where you could really engage directly with families.
So,
Included on the, were you, I'm trying to remember if we got an email from you or if you were CC'd on that email, because I'd like to take your contact information.
I am CC'd on the email from Angela with the link for this Zoom.
Okay.
yeah, so just to let you know, transition to one time.
Say, don't want.
I'm trying to say to one time.
All right, so just let you know, I'm trying to say too much at one time.
Joey and Caitlin to finish time with us. She got graduated. Yay!
Domi's about to finish her time with us, and she's about to graduate. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, they had clear giving me the only. I don't know how much she would be involved with. She can leave us with the script.
So she doesn't really have too much more time with us, but Dana's kind of giving me the lead on this, so she could just leave us like with the script.
That we could share with other people.
That we could share with other people
Yeah, and you just share ourselves.
and do that stuff ourselves.
Moretta, can I ask you if you could clarify, like, I'm trying to understand when you're saying that's, are you saying it's the format that's not going to reach the families or that we need to think about how to reach the families other than using that format?
What I'm saying is, okay, let's say I contact the transition coordinator for Chesterfield County and let her know about these awesome, resources, these tools that are available to students and families of transition age.
Mm-hmm.
I found that there are times where that information doesn't go any further for a variety of reasons. You know what I mean? For a variety of reasons. People get busy, they forget about it. There are a lot of other things going on. There's a variety of reasons as to why this information, it happens all the time. Dana has even expressed, she's had the same issue with other things that we've tried to, get out to families. Yeah, I guess my concern is, it's such good information and it's very, very practical. And the families that really need it, some families that really need it, you want everyone to have access,
Yeah.
So I guess it really would be helpful for those of us who do have relationships with schools
Yeah.
to try to kind of get in there and, you know, and push it. You know what I mean? It's you know, these tools are really, really great. They would be very helpful. to a
Wouldn't
lot
it
of
be
people.
awesome if we could get it on the VIDO website?
Yeah. You might even look into that because I don't see why they wouldn't. There's
I know, reach more families, huh?
there's the equity group at VIDO that you could reach out
Diversity and
to.
equity.
Yeah. Well, luckily I recorded this so I can go back to what
Mhm.
I recommend this.
Well, luckily I'm recording this, so I can go back and write down all your
Yeah,
recommendations.
yeah,
All y'all's
yeah, I
recommendations.
see,
Yeah.
I see who got a contact for the that's a good idea.
So I can ask Dana who I can contact for some of this, and these are all good ideas.
Mhm.
But you're right. If you reach out to the school, it doesn't always get to families because school personnel are overworked and they have other things on their minds. So I think it might be up to us really to, you know, spread the word through the families that contact us.
I think that's a good point, Rebecca. I was going to say that too. Maybe it'd be a matter of us just to, you know, just taking some time and just reach out to all the families that we know in Salesforce that are that have transition age youth. You know,
More of my cool resources that I have in the recreation field.
One of the what?
Cool resources.
And one of the resources that I have,
Cool.
what?
Yeah.
Core resources that I have.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hell.
Call.
Wow.
Say-
What are the cool resources?
Cool. One of the cool resources that I have.
Is my local therapeutic recreation for the city.
My friend.
Yeah.
So I have a friend of mine who's the local recreation
Therapy.
therapist for the city.
So she gets all the people with disabilities that come all ages. Yeah, she's been passing out all information.
So she gets all the people with disabilities, like information,
Yeah,
so she can help pass out the information
Hey,
that we
Dad.
have.
they have camp, they have after school activities,
Camp, after school activities.
Yeah. and they personally have a relationship with the parents.
And they personally have a relationship with their
So
parents.
they will give out our stuff.
So they can help give out our stuff.
They have been.
Well, they have
I
been.
understand because
At least Chesapeake has. So,
yeah, would it be helpful if we created like a one page,
or what? One page.
like a postcard,
Would it be helpful if we created like a postcard,
or like a one page
a one-page,
document explaining what it is?
like a one-page document explaining what it is?
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So this is Carol. She was my faculty mentor, and she just entered the chat.
Hey, Carol.
So sorry, I completely lost track of time and all of a sudden, sorry I'm late.
Thank you.
Hi, Carol.
So we've kind of gone over all the resources, and now we're chatting about how they're going to be disseminated. Someone had an idea to actually try sending it to VDOE. What was the diversity and equity offshoot of VDOE? Is that what you mentioned?
Yes. I can't think of who it is. I don't know if your schools have them. I know my school, I live in Fauquier County in northwestern Virginia. I know we have a diversity and equity. The assistant superintendent has taken that on with several people in the community and parents. So I don't know if others have as well. I think,
What's the goal here,
yeah,
Angela? Is it to get it out quickly now, or are we waiting to get it in the different languages first before putting it out there?
Yeah,
Good
that's
point.
right.
I mean, that's up to us.
Well, I have someone that wanted to do Spanish.
I mean, I have someone who's willing to do Spanish.
So, and yeah, I can, okay, from there I can get her to do that.
So as soon as I get the okay from Dana, I can get her to do
I
that.
don't know if we're wanting to do that. I don't know. I need to check with Dana to see. I can't imagine holding on to it that long.
I need to check with Dana to see, but I can't really imagine holding onto it that long.
Yeah, quicker. Yeah, the more families we can reach.
I mean, the quicker we can get it out, the more families we can reach.
And then if we hear the joy needed translated, then we can go about it that way.
And then maybe if we hear someone that needs to translate it, maybe we can go about it that way.
Dana, I know you wanted to do it in Spanish and Arabic.
I know Dana, she wanted to do it in Spanish and in Arabic.
Yeah, that is the thing that I'm gonna work on getting it done as soon as I can.
Those are things that are really convenient.
I'm gonna work on to do it as soon as
So those are the things that we're really trying to get done as soon as we can.
I was doing what you didn't do what I just do. I was doing what I can't speak.
You were doing an accent?
I was doing what I can't speak.
Oh, sorry. I would do it, but I don't think that would work out too well. Sorry. Yeah, so as soon as we can get those things done, I mean, yeah.
We could send it over to Marianne Moore. She's a transition specialist coordinator person at Department of Ed, Virginia Department of Ed.
Yeah.
I've been taking that Transition University
Yeah.
course from Pizzi, and I was thinking how it's not really it's fine, but some of the examples included isn't really not diverse
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's where we want to make sure we are.
That's what we want to make sure.
Do
Yeah,
we want to
what we want to
Do
make
we want a kickoff announcement? I mean, do we want to advertise this somehow? I mean, I'm having a hard time figuring out what we're supposed to be. I mean, giving it to those people for that, you know, for veto and all those things is great. But how do we let the families know that it's out there to ask those people? So do we want to make some sort of announcement? Do we want to have an interview that we tape and like plug advertisement on our social media page, or how do we want to do that? Send an email to all those people and say, hey, here's that, if that's when you want to present your one pager or whatever, or that's, I mean, how do you want to do that? How are we thinking?
Dana had mentioned the possibility of sending it also out to parent resource centers. So I think she was kind of thinking about multiple lines of attack of parent resource centers, uploading it on the partnerships page, getting it to the I'm Determined people.
Yeah.
Yep, those all came up. So yeah.
What about CTI? Center for Transition Innovations at VCU.
They would
Yeah.
probably, they could probably post that on their website as well. I mean, it could be
If we
multiple.
would just, and then we would just use our connections with the different disability organizations like Autism Society of Central Virginia,
ARC?
Down Syndrome Association. You know, they
What, ARC? ARC? Can we use ARC?
Yeah.
ARC south of the James,
Yeah.
ARC of Virginia. Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, because I recorded it, I'll go back and make a list.
Yeah, like I said, like because I'm recording this, I can go back and make a list.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to give you the opportunity to talk to Dobby. Yeah. What she did.
So we just wanted to give Domi the opportunity to talk, and so we can all just hear what she did.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's awesome.
Thank
It
you.
really
so much.
is. So what kind, do you feel comfortable sharing with us what kinds of things you learned in the process of going through and creating the presentations and
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
research?
One of the big things that I mentioned earlier today in another presentation was the big difference between interdependence and independence, and how those change based on different cultures, and how that affects the transition process greatly. And you know, a lot of stuff came about in the literature review, such as just the safety of, for example, undocumented parents coming to meetings, coming to school functions, not feeling safe because of risk of deportation, the lack of translated documents, and lack of even knowledge that that is an option and legally required. And just parent perspectives on the transition process.
I'm going to add too, I think that the one piece that was really surprising is the assessment. The lack of assessments that are available that really have some kind of cultural considerations in them, and how, you know, that was kind of really the goal, is for her to evaluate these different assessments to be able to make recommendations. And, you know, through the process and through meeting with the person at Georgetown, it was like, don't even bother. They're just, there's just nothing there. And one of them actually said in an article that they were culturally sensitive, but when asked about it, they said, well, we didn't really evaluate that. That was pretty shocking to me.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be, but it was. So.
Seems like there's some opportunities to, you know, recreate some of these assessments, especially
Yeah.
for students.
Yeah, so I think, you know, we're really, Domi's finishing up her capstone, and from the original plan with Dana and with Angela is this is kind of where she's finished, but I think we like the resources and just wanted to problem solve, the next steps of know for you all to know that they're there and be able to use them, and I think continuing with Dana and Angela and all of you to figure out where to put them so that people can access them and use them. So I appreciate that.
Domi, can I ask you, what falls under that disability umbrella as for your research?
Everything in IDEA and in the legislation.
I'm just thinking who I can share it with, but my focus mainly is on mental health. So are you considering that as a disability for your research?
Yeah, I definitely think it could apply to mental health diagnoses that different people with.
Especially with the fact that a lot of people with disabilities have those, you know, those dual diagnoses. Yeah.
Yeah. And the presentation, you didn't talk about diagnosis at all.
Yeah, and in the presentation, she actually doesn't talk about diagnoses at all.
Because which is good.
Yeah, so which is good.
It covers anything.
So it really covers anything.
Under the ICA, that covers it.
Oh,
I think, yeah. Yeah, I got it.
I think it covers that.
Yeah, the focus was really more on the transition planning to living options, work options, college outcomes, and that's everybody.
I do. One thing I noticed, just because I have 2 adult children, but I have one, he'll be a junior in high school next year. So we're thinking ahead and thinking what he'll do. But I did notice that, you know, it wasn't just college and work or, you know, what other. And I just think, you know, there's multiple choices. Like where I am, like it always comes up, oh, what college are you going to go to? Because that's what people ask, you know, because you're graduating from high school. What college are you going to? And, you know, people don't think about, well, maybe I'm just going to go to work, or maybe I'm just going to go live on my own, and that's okay. So it's just something I noticed in there.
Hey, I know more than that we talked about it. We hope this will help parents go home and have this conversation with their child.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about was we were hoping that this would help parents go home and have conversations with their child.
Yeah, I feel
And within the IEP meetings,
with the cultural aspect.
with the cultural aspect.
The agriculture, higher education was really important for us.
Like in the Asian culture, higher education was really important for us.
I knew I'm sure
Yeah, so I know how much emphasis.
I am sure.
Oh, so I didn't have a choice. I was going to college.
I could pick where I went, but I was going.
Yeah, I could pick where I went, but I was going.
How the conversation at home would just help. Hopefully, this will help.
So having the conversation at home, hopefully that'll help.
I think these tools too are really good. I mean, just really a part of just bringing awareness. Like it was mentioned earlier, there's so many parents who are not even aware that their schools have a transition coordinator. There's a transition coordinator for their school district. And so you're seeing kids, they're about to leave high school. And I've experienced this with some parents. And I'm like, what did your what types of options did your transition coordinator make you aware of? And they were like, transition coordinator, what is that? You know, so just making them aware that they have options and, you know, the right questions that they need to be asking them and their student, their child, getting them involved in the process.
Yeah, I agree. And to your earlier point with that too, I know that like transition coordinators, but often like I have a pretty good relationship with the two in Henrico County and one of them down in Chesterfield, and they're forever trying to push resources to other teachers, and it gets lost in transition. But I'm wondering though, someone mentioned a one-pager earlier, and I thought, you know, that might be a great way to just disseminate in a snapshot some information that, you know, if it's digestible and something that folks can look at very quickly, maybe they'll who knows, print it out or look further, just to get it out around the state. And then also I liked the idea that someone had about blogging. Was that you, Patrice? I mean, we often have, we have two women who work, Erin and Jill, they do a lot of our blogging and videos and things like that. And they'll often do like a 1-minute video. Studies show that, you know, people will watch a 1-minute video. They won't watch a 5-minute one, but you know, if we could create like just a little intro of you talking to say, hey, and here's what I've done, just in a real quick and simple format, that might get the wheels turning for parents and other folks too.
Sure.
I think
Jamie, you actually kind of have that written already on that the page that you just did this week. So that first page, you have some of those prompts. You could probably just read off of that for your
Somebody, yeah, I mean, Angela, do you know anybody? I mean, anybody could do it. I mean, Moretta, I mean, anybody could do it where I mean, if you need help, I'm more than happy to like do the Zoom stuff in the background where like somebody could ask the questions and then Domi could respond and what Carol said she already has, right? And then we could just record it. And then you can put that on our social media pages, you know, just to share and to send out to everybody. I mean, if you wanted to.
Yeah. How about a live with Lisa?
It doesn't have to be live. It doesn't.
Right.
Nobody
It's
looks
like the
at it
question
live
is
anyway. Everybody goes back and looks at it after the fact. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, when you do it live, you got like 3 people watching. But, so,
You all are calling me out on all my things. I only watch 1-minute videos, not 5-minute ones. I don't do things live. I go back and watch it.
that's exactly. So, I mean, and then you have if you record it, you have the option to go back and, you know what I mean? If you fumble or something like that. I will never go live.
Yes.
But Lisa keeps trying to get me to go live. I'm like, not with my mouth. You have to go back and edit me later. There is no telling.
I'm not going live.
Yeah, I'm not going live. I don't need to.
She will.
Or I will.
I'll tell you.
I mean, Domi, would you be interested in that?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to
I mean,
do
that's quick. I mean, especially since you already have a transcript, it sounds like we could questions to your transcript.
Social media.
Yeah, or she could, I think she could just, I've had a lot of success now with Zoom. You can just pull up Zoom and record yourself. And then it's there. So she could do that and then be able to give that to you all. And then whenever things are ready, then you just upload it.
Absolutely. I just didn't know if you wanted it more conversational. Sometimes it's easier having a conversation than just recording into the abyss of nothing. But yeah, that would be cool too. What do you think, Angela?
I think that would be great. And you can just stick it on the Google Drive.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then you can just stick it on a Google Drive.
If there's something that needs to be edited, I can try to do it. I can send it to Aaron.
Yeah, if there's something that needs to be edited, I could try to do it, or I could send it to Aaron.
So it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be perfect.
So much. Yeah, I think you would do a better job than we would because you're the one that did it. So,
I mean, I think you would probably end up doing a better job than we would because, I mean, you're the one who did it.
yeah,
So
everyone give you credit for what you did.
maybe we want to give you credit for what you did.
So just introduce yourself and just maybe do like a quick video. That would be great.
Yeah, so maybe introduce yourself and do like a quick little breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a quick little breakdown.
Yeah, what attract people to want to go and look for more?
You know, what would attract people to want to go and look for more?
Yeah, and we can put it on social media.
And we can put it on social media.
Yeah.
And Jill can edit it too.
Yeah.
Like creating work for Jill. Don't anyone tell her I said this.
I'm telling her.
But she can edit it to like, you know, if you goof and like say something and go back and, you don't have to worry about the whole editing process. Cut out little bits and pieces and make it look really good. She can add a little bit of music to make it pop. She can add the logo for Partnership for People with Disabilities. There's a lot of different things that she could do. We could make it simple or elaborate, and still keep it really short and concise. Just food.
Well, yeah, I agree. And out of respect for Jill and Jill's time and all that's on her plate right now, probably talking to her about it and then figuring out, Angela, like when you were thinking you want it out as opposed to when she can physically work on it and get it worked on.
Yeah, I agree, Marcy. She is loaded, and I know I've been part of that, so she's about done with me.
And this is something that I really get out.
Yeah, this is something that we don't really have a deadline to get it out.
But I do want to get out.
Yeah, but I do want to get it out rather sooner than later.
Because a lot of people doing the summer for 5 weeks going into 11th to 12th grade.
I mean, because you are going to have people in the summer who might be actually going into 11th or 12th grade.
And this would be a great thing to just think about our job. So they can go back to school.
So this would be a great thing for them to think about before they go back to school.
And have the conversation with the teachers.
And have that conversation with their teachers.
So I will, so tell me all you have to do is give me that recording. I know you're ready to graduate. Yeah.
So I see this keep that recording, and I know you're ready to graduate. Yeah.
I will be too. I would like to think that if are there any more quick questions?
I'd like to take that.
Are there any more quick questions?
Are there any more quick questions?
No, I was just saying Domi, before she can leave, can record it at her convenience and just get it to you, Angela. Or, I mean, and then you don't keep.
Yeah, and then you all have it.
You know, she's leaving, so she wants to record it and be done with it. But my
But
question.
she will still be in the
Introduce
Richmond
yourself.
area, so you might still see her around.
What are you going to
So
be
when you-
doing, Dami? What are you doing next?
I will be working at Cornerstone Therapy.
Oh, my daughter had therapy through them. Oh, nice. Wendy Atkinson. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So
Congratulations.
when you introduce yourself, when you record yourself, Domi, and you introduce yourself, we expect you to introduce yourself, Dr. Domi Lopez Piper.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Today I get the title.
You work for that.
Yeah.
Own it.
Thank you, Tony, for all your work.
Thank you, Domi, for all your work.
All your support, having the conversation with the cultural brokers.
And all the support and conversation that we're having with the cultural brokers.
Thank you for doing this today. We're grateful for your work.
And thank you for doing this today. We're grateful for your work.
I know they wanted to be here. We can have previous engagement.
I know Dana wanted to be here, but she had a previous engagement.
She said her greatest appreciation.
So she sent her greatest appreciation.
Going to work is one of our top employees.
The cultural work is one of our top priorities.
We appreciate your support.
We appreciate your support.
Yeah, everyone, you
Everyone give her a clap. Everyone give her a clap.
Yeah, she graduated.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your time and ideas. And it's been great working with you, Angela. Thank you so much for all of your help.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I recorded this so we can, I'll go back and take notes and talk to Dana, and we'll go from there.
Like I said, I record this, I'll go back, take notes, talk to Dana, and then we'll go from there.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Great job.
So
Thanks
much.
again.
Thanks.
Enjoyed it. Bye, everyone.
Mute. Yeah.